Right, moving on, US President Joe Biden issued a stern warning to Iran, which has threatened to take military action against Israel after its consulate in Syria was destroyed, allegedly in an Israeli airstrike. He told journalists at the White House that an Iranian attack could take place sooner than later. Biden also said that his grim outlook was based on intelligence reports that he was not at liberty to describe further.
I want to get a secure information, but my expectation sooner than later.
Mr. President, Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't. We are devoted to the defense of Israel. We will support Israel. We will help defend Israel, and Iran will not succeed.
Now, India and several other countries, including France, Poland and Russia, have warned their citizens against traveling to West Asia and the Gulf. Germany warned its citizens to leave Iran, saying that there was a risk of a sudden escalation in Iran's tensions with Israel and that Germans might be at risk of arbitrary arrest in the country. Austria's foreign ministry followed Germany in urging its citizens to leave Iran. Austrian Airlines was suspending all flights from Vienna to Tehran until 18th April. France's Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs has advised its citizens against traveling to Iran, Lebanon, Israel and the Palestinian territories. The UK has told its citizens to avoid all but essential travel to Israel and the Palestinian territories over the possibility of an attack on Israeli territory from Iran. India on Friday issued an advisory urging its citizens not to travel to Iran or Israel after a sharp rise in tensions between the two countries. The Ministry of External Affairs said in a statement that in view of the prevailing situation in the region, all Indians are advised not to travel to Iran or Israel till further notice. The Indian Embassy in Israel asked Indian nationals in the country to avoid unnecessary travel, to remain calm and follow safety guidelines issued by the local authorities. And joining me from Tel Aviv is my colleague Alex Carrier. Alex, how is Israel bracing itself for a possible Iranian counterstrike? Also, is the US moving assets to the region to deter Iran?
Yeah, the US is definitely moving assets just in a preventive move. We understand that from John Kirby, the national security spokesperson at the White House. The Israeli Air Force, the US Air Force and the Air Force from Cyprus running drills in the last 24 hours simulating an Iranian attack, therefore very much preparing for that Iranian attack. But what we've seen, news breaking just in the last few minutes, Iranian commandos have seized a ship in the Strait of Hormuz just off the coast of the United Arab Emirates. It is a Portuguese-flagged vessel, but it is owned by a group which is in turn owned by an Israeli billionaire. And we see that what could be Iran's response may, rather than being one major strike, it could also be lots of smaller actions by the Iranians, including seizing ships in the Strait of Hormuz, or actions in the north, because we've seen Hezbollah firing explosive drones into the north of Israel, all being shot down. No injuries or deaths reported there, but certainly that pressure from Iran building up. And anywhere you go in Israel, including here in Tel Aviv, everybody is very aware of where their closest bomb shelter is. But broadly speaking, it's business as usual, particularly in the big cities, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Beersheba, because Israelis are used to living under the threat of retaliation, under the threat of strikes, and used to living under the threat of Iran.
Also, Alex, what can you tell us about aid flowing into Gaza, including through a new land crossing in the north?
Yeah, well, not nearly enough aid going through Gaza. That's what we hear from aid agencies. They say they have seen an improvement. They have seen an uptick. And yes, a few trucks. I think it was a couple of trucks going through that new crossing in the north. That does beg the question of why they didn't use the existing crossing the Erez checkpoint like they said they would. And again, aid agencies saying there has been an improvement, but Israeli security checks remain far too cumbersome to allow aid into the Gaza Strip. Now, the Israeli government says repeatedly that they are placing no limitations on aid going into Gaza, but the reality on the ground, at least from those aid agencies working in Gaza, say it is very different. There is a bit of an exchange of blame between the Israeli government and those aid agencies. What is clear, we heard Samantha Power, the chairwoman of USAID, the aid agency for the United States government, saying that that famine is taking root in northern Gaza, so that humanitarian situation still remaining desperate.
And just to recap what Alex was breaking there just moments ago, and the ship has been seized near the Strait of Hormuz by Iran. This is news just coming. We'll get you more as we go along. But Alex, for now, thank you. Appreciate it.